Marquita.
This is the His, Hers, and Our podcast. Yo, we had a hell of a time getting on today. We had some technical difficulties, but we're happy to be on.
Yes, and I appreciate everybody for waiting patiently. I'm not used to all these new computer systems.
I know, but we're learning. We're going to get it. We promise to be better next week. So, babe, how you feeling?
I'm exhausted.
Exhausted?
Yeah.
I guess so. So, let's just jump right into it. We had the people waiting long enough. So, this past week, first of all, I think like when we first decided to do the podcast, we had a conversation and said that we realized that some of these episodes will probably be somewhat therapeutic.
Right.
Like it's kind of like our self-care, self-therapy type of thing, because as we go through different situations, we're open. We wanted to be open to talk about whatever it is that we go through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Not only to help ourselves, but to help others.
Exactly, because 9 times out of 10, by the time we get on, we kind of work through it.
Yep.
Okay, so that being said, it was crazy because this past week, I had to come to Marquita and apologize.
You did?
I had to apologize, fellas. And it wasn't even that I had done anything, one thing in particular. I was just being an asshole all week.
Yeah.
And I felt myself, and what it was, and I came to her and I apologized because I have been like extra irritable throughout the week. And when I get irritated like that, sometimes I can be real short. I can be real asshole-ish.
I don't want to say it.
But and that's the thing. Like through the whole week, you didn't really you understood. I wasn't quite myself. I was irritating. We had a few little spats.
Yeah, it was on the show.
Absolutely, and I think that's where it started. That's where it began. And like last week's show, and thank God for editing. You guys didn't see.
Yeah, I was contemplating with my friends, should I show it? They were like, yeah, people want to see that you're real. So, yeah, I kept some in. Some I couldn't because I didn't want nobody coming at my husband all crazy. So
yeah, but I appreciate you for that. And it wasn't nothing like that too crazy, but it's just very noticeable that I was irritated with everything, every little thing. And after I apologized, that kind of that started a whole conversation. And one of the things that we discussed, you wanted to know, well, why is it that I get angry? I get so angry when I'm feeling things, when I'm feeling emotional.
Right.
And that took us to a place where I think a lot of people, and I think everyone can kind of relate, a lot of times we tend to think that certain things are a man issue, dealing with our emotions. But as we talked, found out that you have some of the same issues when it comes to properly dealing with your emotions. So the conversation that we had, I told her, I can recall as a kid, I was more like my mother. I was more compassionate. I wasn't overly sensitive, but I could get my feelings hurt. And but as a little boy, what we used to hear, especially stop all that crying before I give you something to cry about. Right. Or if I was in the neighborhood and something happened, it was so funny. If I was going to get ready to get into a fight, I would start crying. Right? Because you had done something to hurt my feelings. So now I want to fight you because I'm so hurt. And that's where it started, to where I learned to, instead of
suppress.
Yes, I learned to suppress. Because what would happen was I would start crying, I would get in a fight.
Then you would want to fuck something up.
I really wanted to tear something up. And then it got to the point where everyone knew if Joe starts crying, he's about to start fighting. If Joe starts crying, it means he's pissed off. Then eventually I learned to just be pissed off.
Right.
You know, I stopped the crying. I learned how to suppress the crying. I learned how to suppress, like a lot of my so-called emotions. And just from that point, I think I became like very angry.
Yeah, because you don't have that outlet for your anger.
Right.
And eventually it's going to come out in some way. And that just makes me think back to how we raised our kids. And we like to call that generation, very sensitive.
Right. No, we say they're soft. We say they're soft.
But it's like, at the end of the day, is it our fault? Is it our ancestors' fault? Because I know growing up, I was not allowed to cry. My parents did not want to hear that. And it was just like, if my feelings were hurt, I'm very sensitive. I'm going to cry. And I was told, you better shut up before I give you something to cry about. So it was like, I always had to bottle that up.
And I think that's where the conversation got very interesting, because, like, I think a lot of men, especially a lot of young Black men,
yes,
can relate to that. But to hear that, and you as a little girl having to experience some of that same thing, and then too, realizing that our parents raised us that way because that's what they knew.
It was actually considered normal,
right?
And I know I have passed that on. When I had Aisha, just the sound of her cry would just like make me tremble. And it's like, shut up, stop. What are you crying for?
Right.
And now she has a difficult time expressing her feelings.
Right.
And I would have to take the blame for that.
Right.
Now, how would you say Isaiah has experienced that?
Well, I think Isaiah has learned from me.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's tricky because when Isaiah was a little boy, I knew how that affected me.
I wasn't aware.
And I was aware because I got used to people telling me that I was angry. Why are you so angry all the time? Why are you angry? Like, even when when you seem like you're having a good time, you just still, there's always seems like there's something, like you're holding a chip on your shoulder or something. And so I was very aware of that. So when it came to Isaiah, I tried to be very cognizant of allowing him to express himself.
Yeah.
However,
damn, it's like Aisha missed out on expressing. Well, she's very expressive now,
but however, even though I allowed him to as a little boy, he still grew up watching his father.
Wow.
Right? So then there's a contradiction.
Okay.
So then at some point, now, like you see Isaiah now, like Isaiah just told me, when he came in over the weekend, the girls told us that he got in a fight, and, because he had all this stuff bottled up, and he just, dropped.
Did you just tell the girls on the show? Like, we never said where our sources came from.
We can't do that shit.
No, this is live.
Sorry, Zay. Your sister's told on.
No, listen. You're not supposed to tell our sources.
Oh, well, he knows. He came and told us himself. But the point is.
See, that's the thing. If I know something, I'm not going to say it. Each person that tells me, they're going to get a shocked reaction. I'm not going to. I don't tell my sources. I don't.
Can we get back?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, we about to change the whole trajectory of the whole show.
Do y'all like my shirt? Oh, you have one too.
Yeah, rocking it. So, but the thing is, so you asked. I mean, like Isaiah, yes. So, and Isaiah has found, just through conversations, where he now finds himself suppressing a lot.
Yeah.
And even though I tried to allow it, again, there's a contradiction because he never saw me. He always saw her, And so that's kind of like how he's been. So then, it brings up the conversation of, like you were saying, like, how do we pass these things on? How does it then affect us when we get into real adult relationships, like marriage? Because until recently, like this past week, I'd say 3 to 5 years ago, would have been a problem in our relationship. You wouldn't have known how to deal with me. and then I would get even more irritated.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like I was telling somebody, you know, we got to the point where we can bicker at the bottom of the step.
Mm-hmm.
I can go upstairs, go do something. By the time I come downstairs, we're laughing. Exactly. As long, you know, it's like we know what it is.
Yeah.
We address it right away.
Mm-hmm.
But it took time to get to that. Like, because we both, anytime you put two people together, you got two people to come together with their own issues.
Two different personalities.
Absolutely.
But you know what I've learned as an adult woman, as an adult married woman, you have to choose your battles.
Right.
And I don't add to the fuel.
Right.
When I can see you are upset, I'm not gonna come at you all harsh or all crazy or whatnot. So I think that's the difference now.
Oh, that's definitely the difference now. And, you know, I remember, you know, like in the beginning, because I knew how I was, and because I had been married and divorced, and I knew certain problems that were an issue in my first marriage, I was like, okay, let's get on that. Like, for instance, I was always the first one to be like, hey, my bad, I'm sorry. Or can we talk about, you know, because I didn't want to let too much time go by with us being angry. And that took time.
I'm grateful. I'm definitely grateful. And that has helped me in our relationship a lot. Because I'm a runner.
Yeah, right. She's a track star.
I am, and it's like, I don't like red flags.
Right.
I don't like confrontation. I don't like none of that. I don't like arguing. So it's like I will shy away from that. I'm just going to my little shell. I run away. Right. But you never allowed that.
No, I wouldn't allow that. And I remember, like, even like this past week, we had a conversation. You made a remark to me. You said, you know, when we first dated, you know, you didn't always act so annoyed with me. And my response was, well, you weren't so annoying.
No, listen. What happens when you are when you're dating someone at the very beginning, everyone there are on their best behavior, they're on their P's and Q's, and you are doing everything to try to impress me. And I just feel as though once you're married for so long, like are we at like year 9?
Yeah, I think, year 9.
Yeah, and it's like you start to get comfortable.
Right.
So it's like you're not trying to impress your partner, but you've been doing better. Yeah. You've been doing much better. You surprise me. You're everything. You cook. You do absolutely everything.
I'm definitely dope.
I am touchy-feely, aren't I? Ladies, listen, you gotta touch them. They like that.
They call it the savage. Absolutely. Yeah, but you know, it's like, even though, and the point that I was saying, like, well, you know, it's like, yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the difference now is being aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't necessarily now have to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this past week, I caught it myself. Mm-hmm. Like, you tripping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your wife isn't even why you're upset.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the reason that you're frustrated. She's not the reason that you're sad or whatever, you know, what's going on. And you know, because that was a me issue. Like, it's crazy because it's almost like I don't know how to be sad.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Exactly.
It's like you get mad when you're sad.
When I'm sad, it's like there's something wrong with me being sad. I just immediately.
No, you know what? I get it. Being sad, it hurts.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a natural form of grieving. So you're allowing yourself to grieve. And I don't think it's anything wrong with that. No, I think more people need to do that.
Absolutely. And you're right. And I need to do it, you know, and I'm learning. But the truth is that I still struggle with allowing myself to feel emotions of sadness or emotions of, you know, feeling defeat or anything like that. You know, I'm gonna kick defeat's ass. You know, instead of just saying like, wow, I really don't feel like whatever today. You know, it's like you go into this different place You know, and it's like because we've learned to create these characters to protect ourselves.
I told you that, well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let you tell your story. But I feel as though, like, we've been conditioned to build these characters.
Right.
And I'm in the process now of just finding out who I am and not who I was told to be.
Right.
And the real Marquita, and it's like, at the end of the day, I have to make sure that I like myself. It doesn't matter if anyone else likes me. It's like, I have to like myself. So that's what I'm focused on now. And I think that's important.
That's very important. And I think, too, like, even to add to that, like, that can be scary.
Yeah.
Because
it's vulnerable.
Yes, because it's like, even as a married couple,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I'm allowing myself to strip myself of all of these characters that I created for myself, and is she going to like me without, you know what I mean?
See, that's the thing about me. I like real, authentic people. I don't care if you are in the hood and we sitting on your floor just having a conversation. Those are the things that I like. I like meaningful, deep conversations. I don't like trying to impress or pretend that.
Right.
I don't like that.
Well, but that's the thing too. Like, I think, like, I mean, would you say that I'm authentic?
Absolutely.
Right. I don't try to pretend to be anything that I'm not. But
from day one. You told me. What did you tell me?
I'm an asshole.
Yep. I didn't know how to take that.
Right.
I was like, what does that mean?
Like,
I never had anyone just flat out tell me I'm an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I can be a little temperamental, I can be a little irritable, and I'm okay with it.
And you're on your assholeness every single day. There's not one day that goes by.
Funny story. She said that to me, what's today? Thursday? Like Monday. She said that to me. There's not a day that you go by that you're not an asshole. And I said, you're lying. She said, I dare you, I challenge you to go one whole day. I think I made it to 3 o'clock.
You still miserable.
It's horrible.
You fail.
Right.
You fail.
Right. But even in our authenticity, I think that sometimes, because like we said, how we build these characters, is that even in our authenticity, it's like a perception of being authentic. Because like we sometimes forgot who we really are, like who we were before we put on these different masks, so to speak. It's like I think I'm being authentic.
Yep.
You know, but then like you said, but why can't I allow myself to X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
You know, and then that's a whole nother thing right there.
Yeah.
So how was it for you? You know, like, because like I said, I thought it was very interesting because I think it's very common for boys to go through that. But what is it like for you as a female, you know, to maybe not necessarily feel like you can be your vulnerable self?
Well, right now, I feel as though I can, but for many years, especially like when I started working for corporate America, it was like I was told you have to be a chameleon. You have to become the person that you are talking to. So, I was a chameleon with my coworkers. I was a chameleon with my clients. When I opened up my agency, it was like, okay, who do you need me to be? Like, who do I have to be a successful insurance agency? So at the very beginning, I struggled because I was trying to be everyone else except for myself. But when I figured out Marquita, I think my grandmother told me, she was like, you don't have to be no one but you.
Right.
And actually, that's when things changed when I became Marquita Lyles Insurance Agency, because I remember she said that.
Wow.
But I just didn't know how to be Marquita because everyone always told me who Marquita should be.
Right.
So that was a big struggle for me.
Yeah, and I think, like, even for me, like, even in my...
I just wanted, can I do a test to make sure everyone can hear us? Can everyone hear us? Hey, everybody, can y'all hear us? Somebody send a message, just let me know that you can hear. I don't see any comments, so no one said that they couldn't, so I'm just going to assume that they can.
I think, because last time we got a whole lot of messages.
Yes.
Hey, we don't sound. We We see you, we can't hear you.
Right.
It looks nice.
Right.
So, like, what else would you add to, like, and how do you think, like, what would you add to, like, as far as being married? Like, did it affect us early on in our marriage versus now?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to start off at the very beginning. I was having this conversation with my little sister Brittany just yesterday.
Okay.
And I told her that it's a difference between being a girlfriend and being a wife. And at the very beginning of my relationship, because I've always been a really good girlfriend. Like I nailed that. I completely nailed being a girlfriend. Anyone who's ever lost me, shame on you. But it's easier being a girlfriend because you have your home, they have their home.
Right.
And okay, we can spend the weekends together, we can talk on the phone. Oh, it paused. I don't know if we reached an hour. Okay, we're back on. Okay, so you have a girlfriend, you have your home, the boyfriend, he has his home, you talk on the phone, you get together on the weekends or whatever, but at the end of the day, you go back to your own space.
Right.
So when you're married, you can't go back to your space.
Yeah, like so, this is your space.
Like, so this is your space, and I'm never, like if I ever had a dispute or an argument with a boyfriend, okay, forget you, I'm going home. You can't do that with a spouse. Right. You have to actually work it out. So it was difficult. I would say our first year was extremely difficult. I had my way of doing things. You had your way of doing things. I'm the only child, so I never really had to compromise. I never had any siblings, so I never had to compromise with siblings. So for me, it was very difficult. But you made it easy for me because you've already been on this path before.
Right. Yeah.
So you're familiar with the ups, you're familiar with the downs, and you know how to handle it.
Yeah, and I think like this time around, the downs for me wasn't cause for panic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just a down,
mm-hmm.
and it was just something that we had to work through. Whereas for you, mm-hmm. like the downs were, oh shit, like mm-hmm. Maybe this isn't right. You know what I mean? And so we had to work through that whole period, right?
And you want to know something else deep. I remember you told me that you were divorced, and I wanted to know why. And I remember clearly you were like, she wasn't ready to be a wife.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of my mind, after we were married, it was like, well, I don't know how to be a wife. So it was like, I just felt as though it was just going down a downward spiral because of me not knowing how to be a wife. I only knew how to be a girlfriend.
Yeah. And, you know, and going back to like what we were saying about, you know, like the emotional aspect of being married,
mm-hmm.
you know, I think learning how to communicate
mm-hmm.
was a big thing, and in this sense, because it's easy to say I'm sorry,
mm-hmm.
but you.
Oh yeah.
You know, or it's easy to say, you know, when you come to me and start telling me what's bothering you, and automatically I want to get defensive and deflect and say, well, you did such and such.
That's natural.
That's very natural, but that's something that I think that like over time, like we really, and with this, that's how we ended up having this conversation the other day. Mm-hmm. It's because you allowed me to talk. Mm-hmm. You listened, you know, and you didn't make it about you and how you felt. You know, you may have felt something, but that was for another conversation. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so it wasn't no bickering back and forth. And we just had like a really good eye-opening conversation about how I ended up the way I am, mm-hmm. and how you ended up the way that you are, right. And how sometimes those things still come into play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I remember hearing it said before, you know, when we find ourselves in certain situations, the first thing we do is go back to that first thing that we did.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what I knew to do before. No matter how, if I've never resolved that, no matter how hard I try to fake the funk for however long, at some point I'm going to go back to that thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I found myself doing, you know, over the past week, going back to the angry Joe. You know, the Joe who knows how to be mad so nobody asks you what's wrong, or nobody adds to, you know, because they don't want to be bothered with whatever you got going on, you know. And that's, again, and even going back to like being authentic, like even that is something that had to be created to protect me, you know, from getting my feelings hurt or admitting that I was feeling a certain way, you know. And that could be that's, and I didn't even, that just came to me just now in this conversation. Like even in that, even in me being an asshole or being mean at times, that's something that I had to create.
Yeah, that's true. Now another thing you and I had a conversation about is I was raised to be a strong Black woman who didn't need a man.
Right.
You know, I don't want to talk about my upbringing right now because I don't want to get all emotional and stuff, but I think that have possibly played a negative impact on my life. You know, I had to focus on being successful, and during the process, that's all I can remember in my head is, Marquita, I need you to be successful. Marquita, I need you to be smart. You don't ever need a man. And in the back of my mind, that's why all of my relationships were disposal. Because it was like, okay, I don't need a man. What exactly do I need a man for? So I had to change the way I think.
Right.
In order for me to have a successful marriage. So.
And I had to be patient and understanding, you know, with that. Even in just dealing with how you operate with you.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes, like, even with you saying that, it wasn't even a reflection on me. It wasn't even, it was you going about doing you the way that you do you, as if, like you said, you didn't need me. Not because I had done anything, not because, you know, anything like that. It was just the way that you were used to operating. And, you know, having to bring it to your attention, but still at the same time, give you what you needed to come to, you know. And I think, but that also comes with levels of trust and the relationship as well. You know, like you said something that was like real powerful to me the other day. We were just having a conversation with
about the walls, about how, or are we gonna talk about that with the kids and how we build up these walls?
No, that's not that. What you said was when we were talking to the girls, and you said, but Joseph, you said, oh, Asia asked a question about how does she know when she needs a man? Remember? And we used the scenario of, say, for instance, you know, her car breaks down on the side of the road. And I told her, I said, with the way that a lot of men are raised, you're not going to get a man like me and your father necessarily. Because a lot of boys aren't really raised that way. To know how to work with their hands or do certain things. Because she feels like a man should just know how to fix it. But
not that. I think even if a man does not know how to fix things,
that's the point.
We need to know that they can make it happen, that they can fix it, and you're not fixing.
That's the point that I was getting to. You stole my stuff.
You stole my whole storyline.
I telling you how what you said was powerful.
Yes.
Because that's what you said.
I was saving it.
I know, because that's
saving
what you said. That's the thing. That's the thing that you said. Because, you know, it's like, and the thing that I explained to Aisha at the time was like, even if he doesn't know how to do it himself, as long as he is able to and willing to say, okay, but I take care of it.
Yeah.
You know, if he doesn't know how to fix the car on the side of the road, but he paid for roadside assistance, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. He said, okay, I'm gonna make this phone call.
Or cash out me the money.
Exactly. Cash out you the money, whatever it is, you know, because we live in a different time, and every man isn't going to know how to work with his hands. Every woman isn't going to stay at home and cook and clean. You know what I mean? But
in this generation, they want to pay half of the bill.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is that about? I'm not used to half of the bill. I've never had to pay half of the bill. It's either you pay for the date or I'm gonna pay for the date.
Right.
We've never split the bill in half.
I still let you take me out on dates.
Yes, yeah, I love taking you out on dates.
I remember the first time I let you take me on a date. Do you remember that? Because Marquita has a habit of, well, it's not even that. Yeah, it's a habit. Whenever we go to a restaurant, like, first of all, Applebee's is never an option. No disrespect to Applebee's, but that's never an option. So whenever we go out, Marquita was like, okay, I'm going to have start with the appetizer. I'm going to have the lobster bisque with the Caesar salad, and then for my encore, my main course. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I remember the first time he's like, I want to take you out. I'm like, oh, I hate it. I said, so I'm gonna have an old fashioned with your Woodford Reserve. I'm gonna have the Austin chili steak cookware.
But I had you.
Yeah, but you looked at that bill, and the look in your eyes when you looked at that bill was priceless. Like, I knew you had it. Yeah.
Listen, you do that every time.
Oh, now, yeah. I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled. You know, I like we're spoiled together.
Yes, we are.
That's a beautiful thing.
Oh man, but yeah, this generation is something else.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get into dogging this generation just because we don't understand them. And they don't do things the way that we do. I know it's tempting. And that's for another
that's another time.
That's another time when we get them damn kids on here. We can dog them out.
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't.
No, we would.
We might. So, what else we got today? I see you got.
I have a special announcement from one of our sponsors.
Okay.
B&B this Saturday is hosting a sip and paint. And the sip and paint is actually for parents who lost a child. So we hope that none of you guys have lost a child, but if so, I need you to contact Nikila Adams at Tayway Inc. or Tayway Thinking of You Inc. Go to the website. They need donations in order to operate this organization. So if you can, it doesn't matter if you give $1, if you give $5, if you want to give 100, if you want to give 1,000. Go to the website, make sure you donate.
And what's the website?
www.thinkingofyouinc.org.
There you go.
Yes.
And you said this is for Tayway Thinking of You, but the sip and paint will be held at B&B or will?
No, I want to say it's at the Hippodrome.
Okay.
But go to the website. You could contact Nikila Adams for more information. But more importantly, we need donations for that organization.
That's what's up. So we have here.
Are we going to do that?
Yeah, we're going to do this. So we purchased these tonight's conversation cards, and these are for relationship debates. Okay, we did this on our first episode that you guys couldn't hear because we didn't have sound, but it went really well. So today I decided that we're going to add a little twist today to the card game. So what this is, it's a bunch of questions that we haven't even looked at them yet to prepare, which is the beauty of this today. And we're just going to ask several questions here. And answer honestly.
Okay.
But some of these questions can get a little hot, right? They can get a little heated. And some of them you may not want to answer, or you may not know how to answer. So if you don't want to answer,
Oh man, I wasn't drinking tonight.
it's a shot for you, and I pour the shots.
Oh no.
None of them little,
Yes, I need just a little bit. You
none
know.
of them goofy shots that you like to. All right. So do you want to draw first? Or do you want me? I think we'll do what? 3 questions, 3 to 5 questions apiece.
Let's just see. Let's see. I'm not taking 6 shots.
Well, you better answer 6 questions.
Oh boy. Okay. So am I asking myself this question? Okay. So after 20 years of marriage, your spouse, which is Marquita, says that she is attracted to the same sex and wants to explore with you. What happens next?
No, dog. I'm not opening that can of worms. I know it sounds like every man's fantasy, but I am not dealing with the after effects. And plus, here's the thing.
What was that movie that we watched?
You.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not dealing
It would be a wrap.
Yeah. Plus the fact, I'm not into sharing anymore.
You shared before?
Okay, that was
No.
So my turn.
Listen.
All right. You and your significant other are drinking one night and talk about the first time you met. They admit that they were really interested in your best friend that night. How do you respond? I told you that when we met, I was really interested in your homegirl. How do you respond? Fill it up. There you go.
I'm about to be lit.
I'm gonna be real sober about it. All right, go ahead, your turn.
Your significant other has been acting suspicious lately. In the middle of the night, you wake up and realize they left their phone unlocked. Would you go through it? Explain.
Suspicious. That can mean so many things. I want to say no.
You a lie?
But I probably am. If you've been acting suspicious, I'm going to probably. I'm going to your Facebook inbox, your DMs. I'm going to any names that I don't know. Names that I do know that I was always a little, I don't know about that nigga. Type of thing. So, yeah, I probably would. Alright, so let's see. Your significant other wants you to include the mother or father of their child in the wedding party. Is this entirely out of the question? Explain.
Wait, okay, I'll take a shot. Repeat the question. Repeat it. One more
Your
time.
significant other, meaning me, wants to include the mother of Isaiah in our wedding party. Is this entirely out of the question? Explain.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an honest answer. If we had a relationship to where, like how H.O. and I have a relationship, I would say yes.
Really?
Yes, I would. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I would. No, it couldn't have. No, I don't know. It depends on who I am.
They can be invited to the wedding, right?
Yeah.
But be a part of the party? But be a part of the wedding party? That's something totally different. You go ahead, take a shot. You're lying. Take a shot if you're lying.
I'm sweating. It's hot in here. You have to open up a window.
Alright.
Yeah. Marvin said it's a whole lot of liars tonight. Okay, wait a minute.
They don't need to tap on.
Marvin, you shouldn't have left. You should have stayed here. It's my turn.
Oh, it's your turn. Go ahead. Ask the question. We better not do too many more. You're going to be.
We're fine. I'm fine.
Holding your hair out.
I'm fine. Have you ever had a threesome? You whore! That wasn't even a question. You gotta drink.
That's the question.
You gotta drink. You didn't answer it.
I was getting ready to.
You nasty whore, you. Now go ahead.
What was the real question?
No, answer. Take your shot first.
You dirty.
Take your shot.
I got you.
Okay, then I'll go through the real question. Okay, so if you go through your significant other's phone and didn't find anything incriminating, would you tell them why or why not?
No.
I would.
I'm not telling you.
Why?
Just in case I feel like I gotta go through it again. So where I might find something incriminating. Keep it to myself. I don't need you on guard.
Thank God I don't do anything. Jeez.
All
My
right.
phone is not safe. Puppy, Ciroc.
Look that up, bro.
Yeah.
You're in an official relationship with a person, but they repeatedly introduce you as their friend while at a holiday family gathering. Would this bother you? Explain.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's the easy one.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm just a friend. Oh, I would say something right then and there. I'm just a friend. We're just friends.
Yeah.
I might leave. No, I ain't gonna say what I would do, but
Ooh, Lord, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
couple more.
Oh. Okay. Go ahead.
Couple more, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn? Okay. Let's see. Oh.
Okay.
So, a woman agrees to forgiving her cheating significant. Maybe I shouldn't do this one with you because it's about a woman. Okay, but I'll read it anyway. A woman agrees to forgive her cheating significant other under the condition that she gets a free pass to have sex with the person of her choice. He is furious at the suggestion. Does he have a valid reason to be upset? Okay, I guess switch it around to.
Yes and no.
You would give me the option?
No, I wouldn't give you the option. Because I was going to say, this is every man's fear.
Mm-hmm.
Any man, like it's often been said, if you cheat on your woman and she takes you back, you can never trust her again. You know what I'm saying? So that's every man's fear. So would he be right in being mad? I mean, I guess technically he doesn't have a right to be mad.
No, not he.
But I'm going to be
You. Okay.
And listen, yeah, somebody's not going to make it.
All right.
All right.
Wait, do y'all want it to end? Or should we keep going?
I'm going to read this one.
Okay.
I'm going to read it. Oh.
What?
A woman confesses to her significant other that she gave a coworker oral sex.
I would know.
He feels that's worse than cheating because she didn't get anything in return. What?
Next question.
Yeah. Oh, okay. A man finds his significant other's sex toy and throws it away because he feels it's too big.
First of all, would you throw my toy away?
No.
Why not? We're switching the question. Why or why not? Why not? I mean, explain.
Because first of all, it's not just your toy. We play together. Alright. He tells her she's not allowed to have any toy that's bigger than him. Is that reasonable? Explain.
I mean, I've been drinking. I'm about to say too much. So, I don't use dildos.
That's not the question. The question is any random woman and man, if that's the case, if he tells her you can't be playing with nothing that's bigger than me because of his little ego, then
Well, to me, that would be fine because I don't use dildos.
alright, I'll go with that. Alright. You do one, I do one, that's it.
Okay.
One more each.
Why are they trying to piss me off? Who did you have a threesome with?
That's not the question.
they earn your trust back?
I ain't giving you no ideas on how to get back in my braces, just in case you want to be acting crazy.
I'm not gonna cheat. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Who is out of here?
All right, last one. Your significant other has been letting themselves go and gaining weight. Ooh, this is affecting. That's it, y'all. We're out of here. That's all we have time for. We appreciate you guys. Love you. Peace.
President, did you enjoy the show?
They can't hear. Remember?
Bye, everybody. Uh-oh, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Oh.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Joseph. If you're in or traveling to Georgia and need transportation and don't want to get in a smelly cab, contact Travel Elite Ride Services. Travel Elite is a Black-owned car service that provides professional, discreet, and reliable transportation that focuses on filling the gaps in transportation service, such as camera monitoring through their custom app so you can feel safe sending your child or loved one. The app is available through iOS or the Android store, or you can visit them at travelelite.org, coming to all 50 states in 2022.
B&B Beauty and Beyond is a beautiful spa full of relaxation located 2068 Mahoning Avenue, Warren, Ohio. B&B offers the best relaxation massages, facials, lash lifts, teeth whitening, full body waxing, and specializing in a service we all love, Brazilian waxes. Go to www.bnbllc to schedule your next service. Don't forget to use discount code HHO Podcast to receive 10% off.
Not all bundles or wigs are created equal.
And if you are tired of spending your hard-earned money on terrible hair,
Look no further.
Glambox provides the best quality hair, bundles, frontals, closures, and lace front wigs.
You can get your products today.
Just go to www.glamboxonline.com.
And don't forget to mention Jordan from HHO Podcast.
A Helping Hand Staffing Agency is a professional healthcare staffing agency service in Northeast Ohio. They are currently hiring registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, and state-tested nursing assistant, offering daily and weekly pay. You can apply by reading their website at www.ahelpinghandstaffing.com.
Lavish Mink Lash is a premium luxury mink eyelash company based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Lavish Mink Lash provides 100% handmade mink fur lash that will elevate any look, eye shape, and lifestyle. You can order today by going to lavishminklash.com. Use discount code HH10 to receive 10% off of your order. Be sure to follow Lavish Mink Lash on Instagram and Facebook, and mention Marquita and Joe from the HHO Podcast sent you.
Whether your loved one needs care in their home, a nearby assisted or independent living community, or anywhere, Loving Hands Home Care is there to service you. Loving Hands Home Care is dedicated to providing care you can trust and the best service available. They are currently hiring home health aides with a starting wage of $10.50 an hour, weekly pay available. To apply, you can visit their office at 2012 North Road, Warren, Ohio, or call 330-406-9213.
Coming soon, luxury Airbnbs available in Atlanta, Georgia. Lux Investments offer you the alternative to the typical corporate and home stay accommodation options found in Atlanta. We specialize in luxury furnished rentals for short and long-term stays in the most sought-after neighborhoods of Atlanta. We also cater to professionals in the industry of film, television production, entertainment, and sports. All properties are cleaned and sanitized after each booking with a 24 hours vacancy period in between each new guest stay per COVID protocol.
Royal Elegance is a hair care system created to protect each individual strand from thermal styling, daily manipulation, and most hair routines. Royal Elegance offer luxurious high-quality hair care products for all hair types and has a hair care system that promotes growth, healthy scalp, and results that last. I'm sure you are ready to put an end to unhealthy hair. Order your products today. Go to www.rehairproducts.com. Don't forget to use discount code HHO Podcast to save 10% off of your purchase.
Now more than ever, being proactive about your health is a must. But sometimes taking the right stuff can just taste so wrong. That's why I drink Royalty Sea Moss. They offer a refreshing lemonade that comes in 8 amazing flavors. Check them out at royaltyseamoss.com and enter promo code HHO Podcast to receive 10% off. The loss of a child is a reality for far too many parents. Tayway Thinking About You is a nonprofit organization set up to support family members who experience these tragic losses by empowering individuals through mental health and grief support. Visit www.taywayinc.org to make a donation. Brantley Smith Professional Cleaning Services is a professional cleaning company that services personal residents, major corporations, small office spaces, and insurance contracts. Brantley Smith Professional Cleaning Services is certified with the Better Business Bureau. Call 234-223-6110 to schedule a consultation. And make sure to mention HHO Podcast to receive 10% off of your next service.